Everybody seems so horny in this movie. I watched E-Demon, a found footage movie found free on Tubi. And E-Demon I chose specifically because of its awful, terrible fucking name. It is one of the worst names that I've seen for a movie in a while. There's some bad ones out there, but E-Demon is right at the top. It starts out with someone who says they're the leader of the E-Demon Resistance Network, and shows a recording of what happens on the night of a series of murders that occurred. And so it's presented in the same way that Unfriended is, where we're looking at it as a screen capture from somebody's Macintosh. In this case, I believe we're seeing it from Kendra's, though there are a few points in the movie where I didn't think she was in the conversation, but she must have been, because we see it on screen. Either way, her and her friends from college are getting back together for a night online and hanging out. They like to play pranks on each other. I forget what they called them, but freakouts, that's what they called them. They like to play freakouts on people in college, and they would do some pretty severe stuff, like pretend to run people over, but it was just a dummy. That level of really upsetting someone. So I bring that up because the movie starts, and all of the trouble starts because of a freakout they performed. Two of them performed on two of the others, involving his grandmother's witchcraft box. Her relatives were apparently executed for witchcraft. And so there's a cursed box up in his attic. And as part of that freak out they play on two of their friends, they open the box and he accidentally breaks a mirror. Things begin to go a little crazy pretty quickly, and it becomes clear that not everything is a joke anymore. People seem to be getting violent. And when people get violent, people die. And apparently they also get really horny. This movie, and it has to do with the plot, because the plot does have to do with sex. And multiple times we see either attempted or successful simulated rape. So think about that when you go into the movie. But I'm going to say very happily that nobody took their shirt off for this. They did some other stuff. I would never say that found footage sex scenes are worth it. Neither would I say jerking off or pretending to jerk off for found footage is worth it. Actors and actresses did both in this movie. Multiple. But if you're looking for sexy time, this is not the place to go. There's not an inch of skin to be seen that's very unsexy, which is how rape should be. If I tell you the reason why there's all of this, then it basically takes away the rest of the plot, so I'm not going to, because you might decide to watch this movie. E-Demon was not bad. I wouldn't say it was great. I personally didn't enjoy it a ton, but I think that's because movies with a similar format like Unfriended or Host had done better jobs of doing scary screen-based horror. This one seemed a little too weird for me, I guess is the way to put it. I don't know how to describe this movie. It was not great. I liked it okay, but it was very fragmented and it was kind of hard to keep focus. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here because honestly, I can't think of anything else to say about it other than I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 after a lot of consideration, just because I feel like this movie could have actually benefited from not being found footage. And that's the first time I've said that on this channel so far, but I think a traditional movie, this might have worked better in traditional movie format. It's an interesting idea, and I don't think it's a bad one. The plot that ends up coming out in this movie, I think it's a good idea. I just don't know if this was the medium to tell it in.